It's one of the most common conditions affecting the face that a baby can be born with. The cleft lip or a missing cleft palate affects about 1 in 700 babies. And joining me right now, Dr. Richard Thomson with University Health Pediatric Plastic Surgeon. Thank you so much for being here. Well, let's first start with what exactly is a cleft lip and cleft palate.
So what I explain to parents is that we all start off with a cleft lip and palate when we're developing the womb. Some of us, the fusion, the lip and the palate fuses, and in some of us it doesn't. And if it doesn't, then you end up with a cleft lip and palate.
Got it. And I know we have a picture here, and this is baby Simon that we're looking at. Now, he was brought to you all by Fresh Start Surgical Gifts, which helps cover the cost for children or uninsured children for these kinds of surgeries. So tell me a little bit about him.
So Simon's doing really well. He's gone through his primary surgeries, so we've repaired his cleft lip and also repaired his cleft palate. Simon had a bilateral cleft lip, so that means both sides of the lip didn't fuse, and also the palate didn't fuse. So he's got a cleft palate. Well, did have. It's closed now.
Oh, precious, precious. Now, besides appearance, are there other problems that could be caused by cleft lip or cleft palate? So
cleft palate is, well, a palate is responsible for producing sounds such as B, T, D. So it's really important for your speech. So by repairing the cleft palate, you're allowing the mouth to be closed off from the nose to allow pressure for those sounds. So really important for speech. Also for dental development, so a gap in the gum, a cleft alveolus, is vital for eruption of normal adult teeth. Also hearing as well. So it can affect your eustachian tube function, and that can mean that you get glue ear. So by repairing the cleft palate, that can improve things as well.
So it affects so many things that people may not even realize. So how do you go about repairing these?
So it's treated as part of a multidisciplinary team, but the surgery, for the cleft lip, you put the muscle together and the skin of the lip and the lip together. For the palate, you repair the floor of the nose, the muscles and the roof of the mouth.
Wow, so surgery, is that pretty straightforward?
It's routine. I wouldn't say it's straightforward. It's technically challenging, but also, you know, all of us undergo a lot of training to be able to do this. And the function is to mainly get the muscles at the back of the palate to allow the palate to function in speech.
And I'm sure you do follow-ups and make sure this is an ongoing. It's not just the surgery and then you're done, right?
Yeah, so I work as part of a big team. So that includes speech therapists, ENT surgeons, orthodontists, maxillary facial surgeons, plastic surgeons, and also social workers, pediatricians, cleft coordinator. So there's a big team of us who look after these children. Surgery's an important part, but not the only part. You know, we rely very much on getting good speech therapy, making sure that if a children need braces in the future, they've got access to that. So at university, we've got a great team that looks after these children.
Wow, and that includes you. I know you're very passionate. We talked off camera, and you love what you do. So thank you. Thank you for all you do for these kiddos. Now, if you'd like more information, you can just head to universityhealth.com. Thank you so much, Dr. Thompson. We'll be back after the break.